politicians, either they're campaigning or they're getting ready to campaign in 2015, and of course 2016 is going to be a big time. Politicians, let me share this with you. Nobody will keep election promises, nobody will listen to you, nobody will help you, nobody will fix the country, nobody tells the truth, nobody cares. So if nobody's elected, it'll be better for everybody. So vote for nobody and be a somebody. Just saying. In Canada, they have the spy agency there now. They're known as CSIS, and they've been granted new powers as part of a sweeping new anti-terrorism measure. Sounds kind of cool. Hey, well, let me share some other stuff with you. They can now go to court and get a court order to cancel plane and other travel reservations made by Canadians suspected of wanting to be terrorists. They can block any financial transaction linked to a suspected terrorist activity. They can intercept shipments of Canadian-made equipment if they suspect that that'll be used in a terrorist kind of activity again, and so on, and they always have to go and get a court order. Let me tell you, this is the rub to this whole thing. What they can't do is they don't have the power to arrest or detain a Canadian citizen. What? They can do all this other stuff. All they can do is aggravate them, but they can't arrest them. Now let's kind of flip over here to legal Canadian citizens who are the best citizens of all. These would be the honest people that have a gun license. Are you with me? If you have a gun license in Canada, a court order is not needed. The police can come and kick your door down, and they can arrest you and take you to jail. They do it almost every week in Canada. Could you believe it? I mean, and here you got terrorists. You get the message. I mean, there's something really wrong. Something smelly in, where's that country? Denmark. Ottawa, still talking about Canada. Now there's been a debate about the Canadian Forces' role in Iraq because they're bombing people over there with airplanes and different things. So recently a bunch of poll maker guys or taker guys went out and asked Canadians what they thought about it, and 82% of Canadians said, I approve. Another poll says 63%. It kind of jumps all over the place, but here's the real 82% in this particular poll that says conservative voters, 82% of them think it's good. Go get rid of those terrorists and blow them up and cause a big oil slick over there. 40-some-odd% of New Democrat voters, they're the commies, and the Liberals, they also are commies, or certainly they're socialists. They say, don't hurt those people. Maybe we can fix them. I kind of think it's the way they were brought up. Don't you know, a bunch of girly men. I mean, of course you should blow up a terrorist. What's wrong with those people? They shouldn't be allowed to vote or even be around. Stephen Harper's wife, she apparently is an election weapon. So says the mainstream press. They do this every now and again. I think they run out of things to write about or talk about. And you know, she's bristling at this. Recent things here that she has said is, how dare you? Leave me alone. I don't do anything that's got anything to do with electioneering. Just a couple of years ago, she was at my house with my wife. They had a party and something was going on. She's a very nice lady. She's doing her own thing. She's out saving cats and hugging trees. She's not left-wing. I don't mean that. But she's doing good things to kind of help people, underprivileged people and so on. And now you got all the people saying she's an election weapon. Kind of not very nice verbiage. Here's a man in Ontario, and he's a racist apparently. He's in Newmarket, Ontario, which is in a Newmarket, is mostly white. This guy is Jamaican born. He's a rector actually. He's passed away now. His name is Emmanuel Spence. And in his will, he had $400,000 to leave, and he has $2. One that lives in England and one that lives close to him. He left all the money to the girl in England. He said, because I don't like my other daughter much. She now has a child who's 11 years old, but she had a child with a Caucasian, a white guy. And I don't like white people, and how dare you have done that, and I will not allow a white man's child in my house. So he said, that's kind of a quote there, don't you know? So he died, and he left the money to her, and everybody's still fighting. The boy's 11 years old now, and there you go, right? The court in Ontario said, hey, you can't do that. That's racist. So they, in all of their wisdom now, have divided the money, and each daughter is now getting $200,000. You know what? Does a judge, does a court have that right? I mean, in British Columbia, they have what's known as the Wills Variations Act. If you die and leave all your money to the SPCA, some tribunal of socialist jerks comes along and says, hey, I don't like cats. I want all the money to go here. And they do that, and they get away with it. In my case, I'm going to leave money to somebody that is a conservative. I would say, nobody in my family, if they're a left-wing commie person, is allowed to get any part of my estate. And according to this, somebody can come along and say, hey, not so fast, we'll change it. That's just not right. Doesn't matter if you agree or don't agree with this man's position. It's his right to do what he wants with his money. Have I missed something here? I guess I have. It's called left-wingism or nutism. I mean, it's just wrong. If he's of sound mind, kind of what he thought. Facebook recently had technical problems. They were down for just minutes. 5 people in California called 911. What a world in which we live. It disrupted their world. Hey, y'all, come back tomorrow. We'll get more for you from the right. See ya.